Hey guys, one of the mediocre commentators here, and on Friday night I got to see Jurassic World Dominion. Figured I'd let you guys know what I thought about the film. Dominion is probably the most interesting and intriguing film in the entire franchise of the park films. Is it the best entry? No, definitely not. But it definitely is better compared to Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom or the second and third film in the series. The film is directed by Colin Trevorrow, who directed the first Jurassic World and didn't direct the sequel because he was in the running to possibly co-write and direct Star Wars Episode 9, but unfortunately, J.J. Abrams took that opportunity away from him, and we all saw how that turned out.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
However, Trevorrow helped write this film and direct the so-called final entry in the Jurassic Park series. This film also brings back Laura Dern as Ellie Sattler, Sam Neill as Alan Grant, and returns Jeff Goldblum as Ian Malcolm. This is the first time we have ever seen the trio since the original Jurassic Park, and a lot rides with that. Nostalgia is high, and the expectation from fans are just so sky high. Is the film deserving of the hate it's receiving from critics, or is this a beautifully frightening end to one of the greatest franchises of all time? Let's take a look at Jurassic World Dominion. I haven't been the biggest fan of the Jurassic World films compared to the original Jurassic Park. They simply pale in comparison. However, they're incredibly fun films with a lot to like, especially Jurassic World, and less to do with Fallen Kingdom, but both films are fun in different ways. I enjoy them for what they are. Where does Dominion fall? I would say it falls right in the middle, with a mix between the two. It's very serious with its subject matter, but also realizes that the plots in this film don't make much sense if you think about them extensively. The movie starts to fall apart if you analyze it too deeply, but I guess you could say that with almost all of the Jurassic Park films in a way. The film starts off with a very, very thorough recap of the last two films, but it is very fun to see on the big screen, and the way they show it through newscasts and interviews and different commentaries is kind of interesting to see unfold. Essentially, you have two plots in this film. You have a plot with the world characters, Chris Pratt as Owen Grady, and Bryce Dallas Howard as Claire, and then the clone girl are all returning in this film. And that plot essentially deals with them trying to get the clone girl back without going too deep into spoilers. They essentially try to rescue her because poachers have kidnapped her because these agencies want her because she's a clone. So, they kind of want her big bad office people. And then the B plot has to do with Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler having to do with another plot dealing with a corporation doing something shady on the side. It's kind of a corporate espionage thing. And Jeff Goldblum's Ian Malcolm is also integrated in that, which I'll talk about more in spoilers. But at a point, the two plots collide, and the last act of the film is them trying to figure out what to do in the situations and dinosaurs, and it ensues. Dominion wants to be a big, epic conclusion to the Jurassic World franchise. It wants to bring all the cast together, take huge swings, have the biggest scares, the biggest stakes, be the most beautifully shot, and satisfy every fan there ever was of Jurassic Park. But the film probably should have been split into two, or they should have cut some of the weaker subplots out of the movie. However, as it stands with me right now, the movie succeeds with most of what it wants to accomplish. It has a great scale. The action set pieces are some of the most exciting and fun to watch in the entire Jurassic series. The cast coming together simply brings joy to my eyes, and the effects look fantastic on the dinosaurs, as they mix some CGI and some practical. And the characterizations are mostly competent, however, it still feels like it's missing something. And the plots in the film sit well with me. The plot with the legacy characters doesn't intrigue me half as much as the other main plot with Owen and Claire does. The plot with the older characters almost just serves as a way to integrate them into the movie and get them to meet Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. And you see the world and the park characters meet and to have an emotionally resonant climax, which mostly works for me, but the B plot just isn't as fun to watch as the A plot. But the B plot does not compromise the entire film for me, and I'm still able to have a pretty fun time with the movie. Outside of the story, the action in this film is probably the best of the entire franchise to date. With having all the dinosaurs out in the open, as seen in the last film, they were out in the open coexisting with humans, you have the opportunity to have so many good chase scenes and high-intensity moments throughout the film. Also, I must say the film should have incorporated dinosaurs coexisting with humans more, The trailers make it seem like it's the main plot point of the film. It is not as focused on as the trailers would lead you to believe. The chase throughout the Egyptian city or wherever they are is one of the best sequences in the movie and one of the best in any Jurassic Park movie I've probably ever seen. It just keeps escalating and escalating until it becomes almost too insane for the characters to even fathom and survive the experience. Dinosaurs get released, Claire and Owen fight raptors. A big old dinosaur eats a guy's big fat head off. There's underground dinosaur competitions and they get released. Owen tries to do his little hand thing with T-Rexes. It really is a fantastic sequence of events. It is really entertaining to watch unfold in a blockbuster franchise like the Jurassic Park movies. The last third is where some of the most emotional and high intensity action sequences take place. I'll get more of those into spoilers, but the action in the third act is superb and kicked me on my feet for almost the last hour of the film. Also, the film is probably the most beautifully shot besides the first film. Trevorrow frames the shots in such a cinematic way in this film, particularly. I really feel like these dinosaurs are living creatures that are larger than life because of how they are captured and how Trevorrow frames the shot. The CGI on some of these dinosaurs is also superb, especially when they mix it with practical effects. I feel as if the film has the most practical effects since the original, which I personally love because of how real they feel. The colors also just seem to pop more in Dominion. The different environments with the snow that you saw in the trailer, it really is beautiful, especially in the beginning when Chris Pratt is chasing one of those dinosaurs and puts his hand on it. Like, I really feel like it's there. And just the colors and the environments are really beautiful to look at in this film. I'm glad Trevorrow took his time to plan out this film and the shots and the story because it really feels like it is his movie. It's his finale to pretty much his Jurassic World duology. Even though it might not be a perfect film, Trevorrow clearly put a lot of effort into thinking all this out, and I really commend him for that. I don't want to spoil anything else that wasn't in the trailer, but almost every action set piece in this film is great. Like the running on the ice scene, incredibly stressful, the plane crashing scene, probably my least favorite of the action scenes, but still well put together. The ending battle with all the characters is very stressful. You see Laura Dern like yell run in the trailer or something like that. It really is fantastic. And the scene where Claire is hiding in the woods from this like peacock animal, you saw the shot in the trailer where she's underwater and the animal's like above. The dinosaur is blind, so Claire has to be quiet and goes under the water. It's incredibly stressful and is beautifully shot. I feel like I was really there in the forest with Bryce Dallas Howard. It was genuinely terrifying, and you could say that about some of the scenes in this film, but that scene in particular really was fantastic. I'm going to touch on some slight spoilers, so go to this time code below if you don't want to be spoiled. My main problem with this movie is the Locust plotline and the lame villain. The Locust plotline, it just doesn't fit with the rest of the movie. I wish they would have replaced it with a plotline that focused more on dinosaurs coexisting with humans, rather than the villain creating a locust that destroys certain types of crops so he can rule the market and make money and control dinosaurs. It's such a bland plot to put in the final Jurassic Park movie, at least for this series of movies. It's a type of plot I would not put in a finale of a franchise. And the villain of the film is Dodson. That's insane. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was so baffled in the theater that it was the same guy in the original Jurassic Park.
You shouldn't use my name.
Dodson! Dodson! We've got Dodson here! See, nobody cares. Nice hat.
I get Easter eggs and callbacks in a movie like this, but this was even too much, even for me, who's a Jurassic Park shill. But he isn't written well, and he acts like a Steve Jobs business tycoon type of character. And his performance does not work very well for me, and I couldn't really get behind it. There's one point where he just yells "damn it" very loudly, and like hits a chair, and I'm like, this is your big threat. This is your big threat. I'm not. Also, the main dinosaur in this movie, the Gigantosaurus, I think is how you say it. I wasn't very threatened by it. Even when it was on screen, I didn't take much to it, which is a shame because that's the final action set piece. Although it is fun to watch, I don't feel like it's gonna kill one of our main heroes. It is fun to watch in the moment though. So the villains aren't very good in this movie, but that's not what I think Trevorrow was building towards. He was building towards the characters and the situations he puts them in and the world around them. The clone plotline was much improved in this movie, with her being basically a clone put in by her mom, but her mom gave birth to her, which is better than her just being a straight clone of the grandpa, which is really weird. I really don't like that plot line in Fallen Kingdom. Saying the plot out loud sounds really dumb, but they convey it away in the movie that isn't as stupid as it sounds. They use old footage of the mother, and it's quite heartwarming, kind of like the scenes in Fallen Kingdom where they show young Blue and Chris Pratt's character like training. It was just kind of sweet and a nice moment in the film. Even if you think about it too much, it's incredibly stupid. The climax of the film is really where this film shines for me. With all the cast talking and reacting to one another, you got Goldblum and Chris Pratt talking. It just you got like quippy moments, and usually I'm not a big fan of those quippy moments, but it really worked for me. I had a smile on my face for the last 30 to 45 minutes of this film just because of the characters and because of the characters interacting. It really was a good time. The movie also wraps up in a very satisfying way with them all getting away in the nick of time. Owen, Claire, and the clone girl get to live their lives in peace once again and return back to Blue with a really touching scene between Owen and Blue, which was handled very well with Owen returning Beta to Blue. And it also ended with Alan Grant and Ellie Sadler going to like settle a thing with the Locust plotline and everything, to settle a thing with the villains. And it ended with like Grant saying, "I will always go with you, Ellie," which was really it gave me chills. I know it's lame, but it was just a good moment. It's a fun movie that is probably the best of the World trilogy. So I'd probably put it second on my Jurassic Park ranking. I just had a really fun time with it, and the old and new cast really brought it out for me. The story, although it has problems, like it flows good, I would definitely go check it out and have your own thoughts about it. And this movie is way better than 33% on Rotten Tomatoes right now, which you can tell the audience score is like at a 78. So take that with a grain of salt. Just go see it and have your own opinion about it. But I would give Jurassic World Dominion a 7 out of 10. Let me know what you guys thought about here, and click over there, check out my other videos, and hopefully the mediocre commentators will have some more videos out for you guys.